Hi guys, so lockdown is obviously still going on at the moment, and I was hesitating whether or not to post this because I didn't know if people would still find this interesting, but here it is anyway if you are still interested in my lockdown work from home routine. So my alarm usually goes off about 6:30 normally, but since I don't have to commute, I've been getting up about 7:30. So my alarm goes off and I open the curtains straight away, and I try to let as much natural light in as possible to try and wake me up. Sometimes I open the window to let in some fresh air. If I'm feeling stuffy or anything, I actually love fresh air on my face while I'm still in bed. Absolutely love it. But I'm not a morning person, so getting up I just hate it, to be honest. I hate getting up. So I get changed. My God, please ignore that terrible switchover. I was trying to be cool. And then the first thing I do is go to the bathroom to brush my teeth. I know, controversial before breakfast, but personally I prefer to have a fresh mouth. And if this was a work day, me actually going to work, I'd just grab a mint in the car, going to work to freshen up again. I just prefer to have a fresh mouth. I've also been getting into whitening my teeth recently, so I'll brush them and then I'll brush them again with whitener. God knows if this is actually effective, but I still do it. So there's me trying to whiten my teeth. I don't know who I am, but yeah. That's what I do at the moment. And then because I'm a dry skinned queen, I'll grab a moisturiser or an oil and just slather that on my face. I'm more of a nighttime skincare person, so I don't really need to wash my face in the morning. Sometimes I'll just run some water across it if I feel like it, but I just prefer to really deeply hydrate my face in the morning, just to kind of really give back some nutrients that my face has lost during the night. And then I'll brush out my hair with a bit of water, get any frizz or kinks out of its nest, and scrape it into a low pony. I really don't want to put much effort into my hair when I'm working from home. I don't want it to be all fancy. I just want it out my face and to not put stress on my hair follicles by having it all up and tight. So just low pony is great for me. And then I'll just apply a little tiny bit of makeup. I honestly really don't put that much on, definitely these days anyway. I've just been doing concealer, brows, mascara and a bit of tinted lip balm. But if I'm really honest, the more effort I put into myself, the more I feel a little bit more set up for the day. So I'm not applying tons here, just a few project pan items that I've got going to make me feel better about myself and a little bit more awake. I'm also really trying to get into the habit of using my lash colour, as you can see here, because I always forget to do it, and I feel like I really notice the difference when I do it. So yeah, I'm doing that to kind of like lift my eyes up, make me feel a little bit more awake. But quite honestly, even this amount that I'm applying now takes me 10 to 15 minutes tops. So when I'm applying just the concealer, brows, mascara, a bit of lip balm, maybe a little bit of lip liner, it takes me about 5 minutes. It honestly does. I just think taking these few minutes in the morning to kind of make yourself up, it just makes me feel so much more productive during the day. It makes me almost feel like I'm getting ready for work, and getting into that working mood, if that is such a thing. But doing all these things, just making myself look like I'm getting ready for work, makes me feel like more of a productive mood. I don't know how to explain it, but it just does. It makes me feel like less like a couch potato if I was just sitting there with a lip balm on. So yeah, I do all this, and then I'll head downstairs, and it's about 7:30 now, so I'll go to the dining room table, which is where I set my laptop up every single day, and I just check for any major emails that would need to be dealt with before I start getting comfortable. For me, there's just nothing worse than heading into the day that you think you're going to be doing something and then something else ends up happening and you haven't seen it, or something gets sprung on you last minute and you haven't seen it. I just really prefer to give my emails and calendar a once over before I get something to eat. And to be really, really honest with you, I can't eat too quickly anyway, because literally I feel so sick if I eat too quickly after getting up. So by the time I've done this, I actually feel hungry enough to grab some breakfast at this point. So when I've done that, I'll go to the kitchen and make myself some breakfast. I'm really enjoying just some cereal at the moment. As you can see, my malt is wheat, basically a rip-off of Shreddies. But I'll just have some of these, some milk, obviously because it's cereal, but I'll have one of those with like an Actimel or something. I'm trying to postpone having a cup of tea straight away in the morning. I'm trying not to be so reliant on like caffeine, because I drink so much. Like I literally have tea as an IV line. So yeah, I'll be grabbing my breakfast and then I'll go back to my computer. And to be honest with you, I don't really take a proper breakfast break, just because I don't really feel like I need one. You can't hear it on this video, but I actually have my little radio playing on my phone, just because it's the morning. I don't want to take a proper break because I don't really need one, but equally it's just like an easy sort of introduction to the morning, so I can go through again my emails that I saw that weren't critical, and I can start answering them while I'm having some breakfast, and I can just look and plan at what I'm doing with my day. And I think this is really important. I have a little notes section in my notebook where I write the day's list of things to do and what I'd like to get done, and I put stars against things that I'd like to prioritise. And because I have Outlook on my emails, I can really make sure that my calendar section that they have, I find that really beneficial to plan my week. I can use that to my full advantage and constantly just look at what I'm aiming for, how the week is going to go, look what I want to do that day, look what I'm looking to do for that week. You know, set myself little goals, set myself expectations, realistic expectations, and just that's kind of how I really prefer to work. I think actually when you're working from home, it's really easy to be like not very motivated. So these are all the little things that I do, just making notes, writing to-do lists for the day, making sure that if I don't have any critical work, I still write a to-do list of all the little trivial things like sorting out emails, sorting out folders that gets postponed for months, and just doing those little things, because actually it does make you feel so much better doing something than just kind of staring into space doing nothing. So yeah, by this time it's been about an hour and a half since I've woken up, and about now I'm ready for my cup of tea. Like, I am ready for the caffeine. So I try to break up my mornings a little bit with a regular 2-3 minute tea break, literally as long as it takes to boil a kettle. I just find that because I am not a morning person at all, never have been, probably never will be, I just like to create almost like milestones for myself in the morning. So I just find this easy so I don't stare into space, and that sounds so silly, but I just find that if I create these little milestones, like at 10 o'clock I'm having a cup of tea, let me get this and this done before 10 o'clock, and then at 11:30 I'll have another cup of tea and I need to get this and this done. It just makes me feel a little bit more accountable and makes me feel more motivated, and because I'm not a morning person, I genuinely find the morning goes quicker if I do this, and makes me feel a little bit more energised. So yeah, that's what I do in the morning. Okay, so it's about 10 o'clock. I have just finished my meeting. My ears are very warm now. I have just finished my meeting, and I've kind of just made sure I've got up to date with everything before I start vlogging, because technically shouldn't be doing this, but it's like a small break. So what I do now is, now I've done any morning meetings that I've had, and I've answered any emails that need answering and doing anything immediately that I know I need to do, I will normally write a list of things to do. So I have a little notepad, and I'm getting messaged, and I'll just write a list of things to do that I've got to do. Sometimes I'll just use post-it notes, and that'll just help me think about what I need to do for the day. But that's something I would highly recommend with working from home. Is I'm quite a list person. I like to make to-do lists because I feel like it keeps me accountable for what I've got to do. If you don't work like that, that's fine, but that's just how I like to work. I feel like it keeps me in check with what I've got to do each day, and it motivates me to kind of keep on track with what I've got to do. So yeah, I like to write lists. I like to keep on track of everything like that. So normally at this moment in time, I've been working for 2.5 hours. I've been working since 7:15, 7:30, and it's now 10. 2 and a bit, nearly 3 hours. So I think it's time for another cup of tea. So I would probably, at this point now, after 2 or 3 hours of working, just get another cup of tea to refresh myself. And I think an important thing to do when you're working from home is not take loads of breaks, because I think that's kind of counterintuitive of being productive. But equally, I think forcing yourself to sit there and, you're not talking to anyone necessarily, as like you would in an office or anything. So I try to make sure that I stay well hydrated and get up and stretch my legs, even if it is just to go make a cup of tea, or just, I don't know, just sometimes stretching your legs, getting a bit of fresh air for literally just 2 minutes, literally just 2 minutes. Not like taking a break, but just stretching your legs. So this is the time that I would do that now. And then I will sit down, and before I tackle another 2 or 3 hours before lunch, is write my list of things that I've got to do before the day is done. So I'll be honest, I need another cup of tea, because that one went down far too quickly. I can't even speak. It went down far too quickly, and I need another one because your girl needs tea and an IV line these days. So yeah, let's go make another cup of tea. I'll probably answer this message first, make a cup of tea, and then we'll write to-do lists for the day and get stuff done. So yeah, two teas within an hour of each other. I'm clearly having one of those mornings where I'm tea off an IV line, but I'll make my tea and then return back to work. It's not a break or anything. But yeah, I'll carry on working till about midday. Just finishing a meeting here, taking notes. I highly recommend taking notes in meetings because then you will not forget what people have said. And trust me, I do that all the time, especially during working from home. I kind of forget everything, but I've just moved myself to the armchair. I actually really like working from the armchair because it makes me feel so comfortable, and it almost feels like a change of scenery for my bum. So yeah, I've migrated to the armchair, and I'll carry on working for another hour or so before I want to stop for lunch. I try to push myself to like 1 or 2 so that I can do more before I feel all afternoony and sleepy. You know, after you've had some food, I definitely feel like an afternoon nap, but I have to resist the afternoon nap temptation after some food and carry on working. I'll just head up to the kitchen to make some lunch, and to be honest, today I'm making cheese and toast, but honestly, just like cheese and toast, noodles, soup, easy things like that aren't really that great for you, but they're kind of I don't have time to stop food, I'm having a busy day, or I just really can't bother to make anything. They're my comfort food things. But honestly, other days I am loving just having crackers, apple, cheese, hummus, some celery sticks, maybe a packet of crisps, just like real nibbly, tapasy sort of picnic style lunches are like my favourite thing to do. But those are the sort of lunches I have when I have a bit more time to make myself some lunch. But I make sure I have a proper lunch break, proper 20 to 30 minute lunch break, depending on how much I've got to do, and then I'll obviously go back to work. I am quite lucky that I have quite a flexible way of working, in a way that I can start work kind of when I want. I don't have to start work at a particular time, I don't have to finish work at a particular time. As long as I've done about 8 to 9 hours of work, I feel comfortable to log off and pack away my equipment and stuff. But to be honest with you, like, I don't always wake up really early and start work early. I just had a busy day this day in particular. But some days I'll just wake up at 8 and start work at 8:30, or wake up at 7:30, start work at 8. I don't always start really early, but I do try to start as early as I possibly can so that I can finish earlier, because I like to feel like I've got the most out of the day. But when I finish work, I will just pack away all of my equipment, roll up my charger, and everything, all my equipment, everything, and just kind of condense it all down to just the size of my laptop. So I'll just put everything on top of my laptop and pack it all away. The reason I like to keep it all packed away, I mean, you might think, Megan, you will need that charger tomorrow, but if I've packed everything away and I feel like mentally like I've put work to the side, put all my notes away and things like that, I feel like I'm not carrying work with me into my relaxing time. So I really highly recommend packing work away when you're done. And then obviously when I finish work, what would I do but have another cup of tea? On a Friday, I won't lie to you, I do replace this cup of tea with an alcoholic beverage. It's become my quarantine ritual right now to have something other than a cup of tea and sit outside and enjoy the fresh air. But yeah, apart from that, that is my pandemic quarantine working from home routine. I don't know if you guys really wanted this. I knew a few of you said that you wouldn't mind seeing this, but here you go. If you wanted to know, I'm sure it's not too dissimilar from what everyone else is doing at the moment, but this is what I'm doing. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, don't forget to give me a good old thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring my bell, because then you'll be notified of all the videos I upload. I do upload every single week, and you wouldn't want to miss out on more content from me. No, you would not. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!